Thank you, Chair. General Mkwanazi, since you were last here, we asked you whether there was anything that you may have neglected to say, or couldn't say, or did say, that you may wish to address before we commence proceedings today. And one of those issues related to an allegation you made that money was paid by Mr. Matlala to Minister Cele. Do you recall that evidence that you gave here when you first appeared?
That's correct, Chair.
Yeah. And you will also recall that immediately after, I think it was during the course of General Cele's evidence, you contacted me and you indicated that you wanted to make a correction and you apologized and conveyed that to the committee. You recall that?
That's correct, Chair.
Okay. Now you have deposed to an affidavit where you do indeed retract that allegation, and you give an explanation why you have done so. Honorable Chair, if I may just hand up the affidavit. Have we got the original somewhere? I think an electronic copy. Okay. The original copy is with parliamentary staff, and I think the electronic copy has been it has been uploaded. So, General, perhaps if you have a copy in front of you, or you can perhaps just discuss it fairly briefly, if possible.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. I had made a contact with the senior counsel just before General Cele was led into his testimony last year, and I retracted something that I had responded to one of the members that had asked me a question with regard to the communication between General Cele as well as Usmut Matlala. Honorable Chair, subsequent to that, I deposed of an affidavit which I think came to Parliament dated the 24th of October, where I was it 24 October, if I'm not mistaken. No, yes, 24 October 2025. I think there's a typing error here on my statements at paragraph 5, because it says 24. I think I've made it other error, but it was 2025 when I submitted that statement. Honorable Chair, I am trying to explain on this explanatory witness statement that I've presented to Parliament today, that when I appeared here, in my founding affidavit that I presented before this ETO committee, I made it clear in that affidavit that the information that I was presenting before the ETO committee, it is information that I had obtained through documents that I would have perused and people that had shared information. And what I was presenting was a collective effort of the men and women out there that are finding it challenging for them to carry out their task. So at no stage I had claimed that everything that I presented was solely from me. So it's information that will be provided to me by colleagues that are working on things. As I'm sure everyone knows that I am stationed in KwaZulu-Natal, and the majority of the things that brings us here, and I must applaud Honorable James when I listened to her yesterday, drawing our attention from PKTT to the real problem, which is drug issues that is happening in Gauteng. That majority of what we were raising on the 6th of July was in relation to the activities that we're seeing happening in Gauteng province. So therefore, the members that were working close with that have got different expertise, Honorable Chair. And as I was presenting and preparing the statement, I will obtain information from them. Some of them are analysts that will be providing information, and information that brought us to come together so that we can discuss this. Honorable Chair, in my statement, without going through it verbatim on every paragraph, I want to draw your attention especially to paragraph 7 or paragraph 6, maybe let me start there, and I'm going to read it into record, if you permit me. On paragraph 7, on this explanatory witness statement, I'm explaining that in preparation of my evidence before the committee, I relied on information provided by the analyst in relation to the cell phone data of Mr. Matlala's phones. The analyst that worked on this was Miss Nonhlanhla Ketsekile, who is a lieutenant colonel in the South African Police Service. She's the one that conducted the analysis of the data from the 2 mobile phones of Mr. Matlala. Colonel Ketsekile subsequently deposed to a statement wherein she explains how the error occurred. And the statement, I'm sure the members have the statement that she deposed. She says during the execution of her duties, she was, of course, in the presence of myself and other colleagues, who include the generals that are working on this case, where there was a projection of the data downloads of the cell phones of Mr. Ket Matlala. The 2 cell phones where the information came from Mr. Matlala was a iPhone 16 as well as iPhone 15. And it was discovered during these downloads that there were communications on cell phone numbers of General Cele, and General Cele's numbers were saved on these phones. And the numbers are reflected on my statement at paragraph 7.2.1 and 7.2.2. As you can see, these numbers were saved with particular names, Ndosi and Cele. For those who does not know, Ndosi is a clan name of Cele. So you'll assume that when a person talks about Cele or Ndosi, he talks about the same person. The analyst then explained that in the very same phone, there were also chats that were coming from 8 different numbers, which is reflected on paragraph 7.3. And this communication that is dated the 27th of December 2024, it was a communication between Vusmus Matlala and the person on this number that he had saved as Babndos. So right at the onset, you'll assume that Babndosi might be a Cele person, not necessarily General Cele, but might be a Cele person because it's a clan name. But where the error happened, and honorable members must see there on record, and we are reflecting that especially on paragraph 7.5 of the statement. The number that is reflected on paragraph 5.2.1 above, which reads 072-207-3518. That is a number of General Cele. And the number that was communicating on text with Ket Matlala that was saved in Ket Matlala's phone and saved as Babndosi, or the address that Matlala uses, the number reads 072-204-3518. So on the glance, as the members can see, the 2 numbers are almost similar with a difference of only 1 digit, right in the middle. That's 1 digit that differentiates between the 2 numbers. The system that an analysis notebook that the analyst was using in punching the numbers and tracing the communication, I think the system drew a different number because of this confusion in the middle. Now, the analyst does submit a statement, or she has submitted a statement, both before this committee as well as on a criminal investigation that has been investigated by IP as a result of a case of perjury that Mr. Adams, the honorable member of this parliament, have opened as a result of that error. So she did submit, which we will have to account for on the criminal investigation. But she did submit her statement to explain how this error occurred. So we were upfront to withdraw that statements made. We've put in a statement supplementary in that regard, and we are here today to submit an explanatory statement on how this error between these two numbers occurred. Honorable Chair and members, we also believe that the very same Vusmus Matlala made the same error. He might have been under impression that he's communicating to someone else, Ndosi, Babndosi, that he addresses as Babndosi himself. Why do we say that? We say this because, Honorable Chair and members, the owner of the number that the mistake happened resides in Mpumalanga. His name is here. I'm not going to read it for privacy, but the members is reflected on the statement. The owner of this phone number has given us a statement as well, where he explains that he received a number of messages, WhatsApp messages with bank records, statements that he did not understand what was it about. There were a lot of them. And he then responded to try and get a conversation from the person who's sending him these documents. He sends him a message, he said, hey, and then the person responded. And next thing, there was an exchange of a bank account because it seems like Ed Matlala needed to put money, give money to this person. And this person gave him capital account. And this Ed Matlala deposited the money into this account. And this man was appreciative, he's unemployed, and he said he took some of this money, gave it to his girlfriend. And he wanted more money because he doesn't know who's this person that is donating the money to him that he does not know. It is then when Vusmus Matlala realized that looks like he's talking to a wrong person. And Vusmus Matlala says on the WhatsApp message, who are you? So he's asking this guy that he has already given the money to, as, who are you? And this person explained, no, I'm so and so. So immediately after that, Matlala deleted all the messages that he had sent. He retracted all those messages from his phone. So a statement from that owner of that cell phone is here. The downloads from Matlala's phone does show those messages that the members or that the witness is talking about that were sent by Matlala to him. And they are reflected, attached to the statement, at the back of the statement, that the members will be able to see them. Right at the back, there's quite a lot of messages that Matlala had sent to this guy, and he later deleted all of them. So we believe that Matlala made the same error, Chair, that we also made, simply because the number between this gentleman and Cele differs with only one digit. I think it's digit number 6. The other one has got 4, and the other one has got 7. The rest of the other numbers, they are exactly the same. So that is what we are submitting, Chair. It was not an intention for us to mislead this committee. It was an error that was made when the analysis team extracted information, which was discovered by the very same team when the investigation was conducted further. And when we established that, no, this is not the real person. And that's why we withdrew the statements that we made, which we had right at onset indicated that what we are sharing, it's any collective information that comes from different colleagues in the service. So that's my submission, Chair.
Thank you, General. But you do confirm that Minister Cele's number is or was on Mr. Matlala's phone?
Yes, we do confirm that there's communication between Minister Cele, or the former Minister Cele, General Cele, and Vusmas Matlala. The only thing that we're withdrawing, it is the WhatsApp communication, and subsequent to that, a bank account and the proof of payment. And we had said, if I may add, Chair, that in our response here, we did say that there was a communication between the General and Matlala. But subsequent to that, there was a bank account that was shared, and the bank account belonged to a third person. And there was money that was moved into that bank account of that third person. And we were to investigate whether that third person is not associated to General Cele. That's what we said on record. So it is that investigation that revealed that actually those two are not related.
So the person who actually did get the money just thought that Christmas came early. He was getting a gift from some unknown person.
Yeah, well,
not connected at all to Kat Matlala or to former Minister Cele.
Indeed, he does tell us that he enjoyed that money and he shared it with his girlfriend.
Is there any connection to the Ndosi number? And because you say Ndosi is a clan name for Cele.
It is Kat himself that addresses him as Bamdosi. So that's why we believe that he saved this, and this person has got no relationship with Cele clan. He goes with a different surname. Without disclosing the details of the person, maybe I can indicate his surname. His surname is Mhlanga. So he's nowhere closer to the clan of Cele.
Now, apart from what on your evidence appears to be a genuine mistake, what made you believe in the first place that Matlala would have sent money to former Minister Cele in this fashion?
Honorable Chair, the investigation team, as they were interacting, and we get to see the communication between General Cele and Matlala and the relationship that is between the two of them, it is that what became suspicious as to, but why will General Cele associate himself with this person? And further colleagues that we're talking to, of which some of them I spoke about, and we're going to discuss it later today. A colleague of mine who's the head of human resource management in the South African Police Service, that is Lieutenant General Hua, who had indicated to me that General Cele was adamant to want to see him in order to discuss the contract that Matlala had in the police, because there were no orders coming. She said to me that this was after the Durban engagement with Matlala when I spoke to her. And she said to me, General Cele was even so adamant that he wanted to travel to Velkom when she was in Velkom to come and meet with her. So it is that made us to realize that there was that effort from General Cele to make sure that Matlala is assisted to some degree. And of course, the generals going to the accommodation of Matlala in Pretoria, which has already been presented here, that is known. So those are some of the things that made us to feel that there is something that is questionable, the relationship between the two of them. So when the analyst then starts seeing this conversation, and on the glance, she can come and demonstrate how the system dropped this information that appears to be the general data that WhatsApp, the error occurred. We had no reason but to believe that there is something to be investigated between the two. And considering the fact that this contract, when it was awarded, we are not saying that there was any role that the general played, but when this contract of Matlala was awarded, Minister Mkwanazi was not in, when the process started, Minister Mkwanazi was not in the organization at the time. General Cele was the executive authority at the time.
So at least on the face of it, there appeared to be some connection, and so when you miss one digit on two numbers that look almost exactly the same, there's no reason to think that it was done maliciously or with some ulterior motive.
No, definitely there was no ill intention.
Yeah.
That's why we